Welcome to my trading room. This is USOIL Day Trading, the best Elliott wave analysis, episode number 1. So today I will look at USOIL. So I will look at energy with you. I haven't done it until now because I was more occupied regarding YouTube with cryptos and the stock market and gold. And I did not take the time to look at USOIL, but I want to do it today to explain to you a couple of things. As always, I want to give you an idea what trading is about. And that's why I'm looking at USOIL today, because normally my rules say that I look at the 1 hour chart of Elliott wave and the 3 hour chart on Ichimoku. And that's what I usually do. But I did find out recently that I could go down on Ichimoku to the 2 hour chart for gold instead of the 3 hour chart. And I did also find out with practice by trading that on USOIL, I could go down to the 1 hour or the 30-minute chart. So I'm not sure which one is better in the 1 hour or the 30-minute chart, but I can try both of them. Probably what is better is if I'm more certain about a position and I want to enter sooner, then I would probably use the 30-minute chart on Ichimoku on USOIL. But if I have more doubts about the position, about my Elliott wave count, and I want to get a stronger buy signal or sell signal, then I would look to the 1 hour chart. It depends. So it depends on my confidence about the chart, and we're gonna talk about that today. So that's one thing I want to do. I also want to tell you something that might not interest you, because it seems to be not related to trading, but actually it is. So the thing I want to tell you is that I've posted, I think yesterday, days pass fly by quickly, so I'm not sure if it was yesterday or the day before, but I think it was yesterday. So I think I posted yesterday on my Telegram and Twitter and YouTube my last piano piece, the last piece I practiced on the piano. And I'm talking about to that, not just so that you listen to some good piano music, classical piano music. That's not my intent. But I want to explain to you something, is that it took me to play that piece up to that level. It took me 3 months, 3 months of training, 3 months on working on myself and the art that I'm practicing. It took me it took me more than 3 months, but normally it takes me 3 months to publish one. This time it was a little bit longer because not just to have to work to practice, but piano is a very difficult instrument, and you need a professional piano player who has to have a very good level. Mine is piano concertist, and she is a teacher at a conservatorium. So she has a huge level on the piano. She's a very, very good pianist, but it is very hard to get an appointment with her. Sometimes she doesn't give me an appointment for a period of time, like 8 months. I have to wait 8 months until I see her again. Normally I should see her every 2 weeks, but often, most of the time, she just tells me that she can't give me the lesson, and then I have to wait until it is possible. And it can take up to 8 months until I see her, because she's very busy. She has a lot of students, and it doesn't matter to her if I see her every 2 weeks or if I see her once every 2 years. It doesn't matter to her. To me it does, because I want her to check what I'm doing and helping me to become a better pianist. But I'm telling you all that about the piano just that you understand, to practice, to learn how to play that piece. The last piece I did, it normally takes me 3 months. 3 months of practicing every day, 45 to 1 hour of playing. And once I have the level, I ask my teacher if I can publish it, and my teacher says yes or no. If she says no, then we have still to work on some aspect of the piece. And once I get the green light, then I publish it on the internet. So I'm telling you that it's just because it's quite simple to get somebody up to my level of the piano. So he can play the piano decently, and if he wants to publish the pieces he plays, it's quite easy. And still, it takes me work, it takes me effort. I have to pay somebody to listen to what I'm doing and to improve my playing, to get rid of the mistakes I could do on the piano, so that the piece that I present to you is the best I can produce. And that's a simple thing. Playing the piano is quite simple. You can take a kid of 4 years and teach her how to play the piano. And if she does it regularly, she could, a couple of years, you can start, I think you can start at 4 or 3 years, or maybe 5 years. 5 years, I'm certain you can start playing the piano. And 3 years afterwards, or 5 years afterwards, let's say she starts at 5 years. When she's 10, she could be a very good pianist already, much better than I'm today, because you learn that kind of stuff very fast when you're a child. And if you have intense lessons every day, and you practice every day during your childhood, then you make immense progress very fast. It takes me, as I told you, in average 3 months to produce one piece. I can play up to, normally I play 2 pieces at the same time. So in 3 months, if everything goes according to plan, and I see my teacher frequently enough, then I can produce maybe during 3 months, 2 pieces, 3-4 months, 2 pieces, in the best case scenario. But if you are a good pianist, you can do the same thing in 30 minutes for 1 piece. So in 1 hour, you can produce 2 pieces, and you can play them as well as I play it, or even better. And it takes you only 30 minutes because you're just a very good pianist. And you do that all day long, but it takes you also 8 hours of practice a day, every day. So, but playing the piano is quite simple. Now, what is for me a little difficult with what I'm doing here on YouTube is to have all those people in front of me or listening to my intervention and thinking that trading is easy money, that you can make a fortune in the market by accident, just by having fun and throwing money against the market, and everything will be fine. Or that you just need to look at one Elliott wave count and that you instantly know how to make money. That's not the case. It's much harder than that. It's an art form. What I'm explaining you today is on the Ichimoku chart. If you should use the 3-hour chart, the 1-hour chart, the 2-hour chart, the 1-hour chart, the 30-minute chart, it took me time to get that. It took me time to understand that I can go down on USOIL to the 30-minute chart, or to the 1-hour chart on USOIL, but I cannot do it on gold. If I go below the 2-hour chart, I will get whipsawed too much, and I cannot do it on stocks, and I cannot and I certainly cannot do it on cryptos. I would get whipsawed all day long, and I would end up losing more money than I make. So the thing is, it takes years. I've listened to a trader, and he said, I'm looking at charts for 20 years now, 20 years every day. That's my job. I only look at charts, and I do this every day, all day long for 20 years. And when I look at chart, there are things that I feel. He says it's not a feeling, because you never should follow your feelings. But there are things that I understand, and I cannot even explain it, because I don't have the concept to teach it, to explain it, but I understand it. And it tells me if I should be bullish or bearish. It's just some subtleties that you learn with experience on Elliott wave. He's an Elliottian, just as I am, and that's what he said. By that I mean, trading is the hardest job on earth, because it is not just the intellectual stuff. It is not just Ichimoku or Elliott wave. You can learn that quite fast. That's not the difficult aspect. But then there's also the psychological aspect. And I also want to talk about that today, the psychological aspect. Because on USOIL, my last 2 trades were winning trades, and everything went according to plan perfectly. So I was very happy with my last trades, and I made and I had a very satisfying result. And that pushes me. The last trade I did was yesterday, was only a small trade, but it also was quite a profitable trade in a couple of hours. And the thing is, it wants me to get in the market again. I look at the chart today and I tell myself, I already could take a position on that level and that level and that level. And I want to jump it because I want to keep having that good feeling of making money in the market. But that's not what I have to do. I have to wait for my indicators to tell me that now the moment has come again to take a position, a long or a short position. And until that happens, with a certain degree of confidence, I must wait. I must wait until the market tells me if I should go long or if I should go short. And I cannot jump it. I cannot just be greedy. If I start being greedy, then I will end up losing more money than I make. Yeah, the money I made during the last trades, I can lose it easily during the next trade. So if I don't, and that would be of no use. What I want to do is to wait until the market tells me again to go long or short. I hope that it will be a third winning trade. And if that's the case, and I keep on having a couple of good trades on USOIL, then I would consider that I can deploy more capital trading that market. And then I trade the same thing. I do it again, but with more capital. And if I use more capital, then it gets more interesting and I start making more money. But I cannot get greedy too soon. I have to wait for the stuff to develop. As I told you in my last intervention, I'm taking this year to intensely spend time trading Bitcoin and ETH, either Bitcoin or ETH or Ethereum, gold, USOIL, and the S&P. So my main focus this year are those 4 markets. And once I can, if I find time, and I want to trade one more market, then I would trade Forex. But that's in the future. Right now, I have enough to do with my 4 markets that I'm trading already. But if I can, I would trade Forex too. Why do I choose these markets? Because they are not correlated. If I choose, for example, the S&P and the DAX or the Nikkei, they are quite correlated because they are stocks. They go down on the same moment and they go up on the same moment. There's some kind of correlation. It's not 100% correlation, of course, but there's some kind of correlation with every stock market. If it's the Asian, European, or US stock market, there's some kind of correlation. So for me, trading the S&P and the DAX, I probably would have a winning position on the S&P and a winning position on DAX on the same time. And I would also have a losing position on the S&P and a losing position on DAX on the same time, probably. The probability that happens is quite high because the markets are correlated. But there's no correlation between Bitcoin, gold, USOIL, or the S&P. There's no correlation. That's why I trade them. And there's also no correlation to the Forex, to currencies. So if I want, I can trade a 5th market, which would be currencies. But for now, I can't manage. Maybe next year. Maybe next year, if I get better at my craft, then I would also add add currencies. Okay, now that being said, let's take a look at the charts. Okay, excuse me for 1 second. I have to blow my nose. At least I think I have to. Okay, let's take a look at my disclaimer and then at the charts. So I can try to explain you what I just did by looking at some charts. But don't think it's easy. Look, I take 12 months just to become a better trader. 12 months, I will mainly focus, not exclusively, but mainly on trading. It's not an easy job, and I have quite a level at trading. But I mean, I'd still take 12 months to get a better trader. And what obsesses me a little is all those people who think trading is an easy thing. And if they don't make instantly money, easy money, fast and easy money, and a lot of money, they cannot start small and increase the capital just as I do it. No, they must trade. If they are 30K, they must place 30K on the first position and make 100K or lose it all on the first position. They take. That's not trading. That's gambling. So what obsesses me is people who think that it's so easy. Why don't you do something hard with your life, like learning how to play the piano, and understand all the time and effort you have to put into that instrument before you get a satisfying result? And then ask yourself, if the piano, which is still quite easy since a child of 5 years can do it, if the piano takes that much effort, why do I think that the most difficult job on earth, which is being a trader and living from your trading income, why do I think that the most difficult job on earth, trading, will be that easy? And why don't I have any perseverance? Why don't I give myself the time to learn and to become better? That's just what which I find quite disappointed, is seeing all these people who stop before they even tried becoming a better trader. What I give you is very useful. Ichimoku and Elliott wave are very useful. I place every trade that I make and on Ichimoku and Elliott wave. And all the money I have made, I already have made a lot of money in the markets. And I think that it is possible to keep on doing that and even making more money in the market. And all that I did it because of Ichimoku and Elliott wave, especially Elliott wave, but Ichimoku also. But the thing is, if you don't do the work, if you don't get better at it, if you don't learn from your mistakes, if you don't improve constantly, you will never become profitable, consistently profitable trader. Look, I didn't think it through until the end, but I could have told you a couple of 1 month ago or a couple of weeks ago, I think 1 or 2 months ago, I could have told you to take a long position on USD and a short position on the ruble, the Russian ruble. I could have told you that, and you could have made a fortune. You could have made 100K, 1 million, 10 million if you have enough capital, 100 million just on that single trade, just on shorting the Russian ruble and going long USD. You could have made a fortune. But if you are not a trader who knows how to use the market, you will screw up. You will take a long position instead of a short position, or you will take too much leverage or not enough leverage. And the occasion, even if I tell you to do it, you will mess up and you won't be able to do it. So you must be constantly in the market. So for you, it is easy to decide, and it is easy to follow, and it's easy to make money management. And you know how much capital to use, how much leverage to use. If what I tell you to go short the ruble and long the USD, so that you don't press on the wrong button. But all that will not happen if it is not natural for you to take a position, and that you only learn with experience. And I'm not talking about experience of 1 day or 1 hour or 5 minutes. I'm talking about experience that takes years to build, years. I'm just a little frustrated with the private clients that I have who give easily up, because they realize it is hard. And you don't have to be a technical analyst. You don't even have to be a trader. You can be an investor, which might be more easy for you. One of my clients, I see him once a week normally. And we talk about investing because he wants to learn. He's of a certain age. And the last thing I'm doing is explaining him the fundamentals of Bitcoin, because he needs to understand those fundamentals. So I'm translating for him the ideas of a book. The book is called, I think, 21 Lessons, Bitcoin, 21 Lessons, A Dive into the Rabbit Hole. It's a very good book. So I'm reading it for him every week, and I'm translating the most important passages of the book, and I'm explaining it to him when I meet him and we talk about it. It's just that he feels better putting money in something that he understands its fundamentals. And it's not something you do in 5 minutes, to be sure, especially if you're of a certain age. By that I mean, there are a lot of people and there are a lot of ways to make money in the market. You don't have to be a technical trader. But look, since he doesn't take position himself, if he wanted to have taken the Russian ruble trade and go short the ruble and long USD, he would never be capable of doing it. So he has to ask a trader to do it for him. And since he's my client, I would do it for him. I would say, how much do you want to put on the Russian ruble? I would ask him how much leverage he wants to take. I would tell him on those instruments, you can go from that leverage to that leverage, depending on how certain you are and how much risk you want to take. And once he answers the questions for me, I will execute his wishes. I will execute his mandate, and I will place the money that he wants to place on the Russian ruble. I'm just telling you that there are several ways of doing it. You don't have to do everything. You can use somebody you know, somebody who does a part of the job for you. For example, there are people who only like developing trading system, but they hate trading them. Well, those people can hire somebody to trade that trading system. They explain the rules of their trading system, and that guy can trade for them. So I don't do that, and I don't recommend it because there's a lot of trust involved. But I'm just saying there are a lot of solutions, and there are a lot of people in the market. My client who needs to listen to me explaining to him the fundamentals of Bitcoin and why you should be a Bitcoin maximalist, what I am, and believe in Bitcoin and follow a strategy, that client who needs to hear it and thinks about it again and again and again, and so he doesn't loses himself in wrong thoughts like that that proof of work is bad, or that there's no that quantum computing will put an end to Bitcoin and all the nonsense the media puts out. So, I mean, it is hard, even being a trader and knowing why you put your money into something like, even being an investor and knowing why you put your money into Bitcoin and when to exit a position and when to enter a position. All that is hard. It's hard to follow a strategy. And most people can't. And that's why most people lose money. So you don't have to be a trader, but if you don't know me, if you don't meet me, you have to be at ease in the market. And you must know how to take a position and how to exit a position. And you must be able to manage risk and to not lose much money when you are wrong. All that is necessary. And you only learn that with experience and time. Okay, I've spent a lot of time talking, and I wanted to be more brief today. But anyways, I think it's interesting, and it is related to trading. So now that being said, please read my disclaimer. The link is in the description, and also read my risk warning so that you are aware that there are risks involved in trading. I hope that you can see the screen right now. I think you can, because normally I don't mess it up, but I hope you can. And now let me talk about my services. So I'm offering two things. One, live Elliott Wave updates. Those are on Bitcoin and the S&P and gold. They are Elliott Wave updates. I sometimes talk about Ichimoku for entry, exit points, and stop loss points. That for now is only at 20 USD a month. I might increase the rate for next year to something like 30 a month or 50 a month, because it's not a lot for what you get. But for now, it's still 20 a month. And you can pay using cryptos or PayPal. And next to that, I also offer a special limited membership, but I also want to talk about my limited time offer, which are coaching lessons for my private clients only. So you need to be a private client to get that offer. And it allows you to get one coaching lesson for 100 USD for 1 hour. Instead of 250 USD, which is my normal rate for 1 hour of coaching. I'm just telling you that because it is important for you to talk to somebody. For example, the client that I meet once a week, normally every week. This week I didn't meet him because he's taking a holiday, but normally I meet him once a week. We only talk about the fundamentals about Bitcoin. Sometimes we talk about trading too, but I mean, I do all the job. I put his Bitcoin into cold storage. I buy the Bitcoin for him. I do everything for him. Okay, and we talk about the fundamentals about Bitcoin over and over and over again. And I explained to him why he should not go for a scam, an altcoin, but why he should be a Bitcoin maximalist, just as I am. And we talk about that once a week. And it's great. He learns a lot. And he finds that he's of a certain age, very close to, he could already have taken his retirement, but he's still working a little, less than in the past, but he's still working a little. But I mean, he's of a certain age, and still he finds that very interesting, and he's learning a lot, and he's making money in the markets. But I want just to tell you that you don't have to be a trader, but you still have to do your job correctly. If it's an investor or a trader, you still have to do your job correctly. And there's no way that it is easy and fast money. That's just impossible. You can make a huge fortune, more money by trading than any other endeavor on earth. Nothing will make you more money than that. You cannot even imagine the amount of money you can make by being a trader, a super trader. But it is hard work, and it takes years to become better at it. So now that being said, please like and also leave me a comment. I appreciate them, especially when they are kind. Liking is very important, because if you don't like, then nobody will find this intervention. And if nobody will find this intervention, then the market tells me that I have to stop putting free stuff on YouTube. So you have to like this intervention so that other people can find it, and that I keep on putting out free stuff for you guys and girls, because sometimes there are also girls watching me and listening to me, even if they are a minority, which is quite sad, because I think that being a girl and being more easily accepting to be wrong, guys always want to be right, but girls, I think, accept more easily to be wrong. Some of them, at least. They sometimes are more easy to find a compromise with them. When boys, those generalities often don't work. But I think that being a girl is, you can be a girl and be a great trader. So it's a little sad that that most of the time they are not interested in it. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Let's now talk about the charts. So today I want to talk about USOIL. And I first want to talk about the Ichimoku, the Elliott wave count. So let's take a look at the bigger picture. Maybe the 4 hour will do, or the 1 day. Let's see. Okay, here I have the drop that went negative, and that screws the chart off. I don't know if you could trade that. I wasn't trading that market at that time, and I don't know if you could have, because I'm not sure that actually you could have taken a negative trades. I'm not sure that your broker would have allowed it. But anyways, that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the Elliott wave count. So let me take my tool. So that I can highlight stuff. And let's talk about it. So I would put a wave 1 here, a wave 2 here, a wave 3, a wave 4, and a wave 5. So it's an impulse wave, but only of wave A. So I don't think that that is a wave 1, but it's only a wave A. Then I think that we had an ABC correction, A, B, C, of wave B, of A. So from up here, we then make a wave A. Up there, we have a wave B. You can see it, but it's up there. And now we should be in the process of accomplishing a wave C. Now that's my main count for now, that we are having an A wave up here, a B wave here, and a C wave up here. So that's the C wave. And this the first correction is an A wave. Then we have a B wave up here and a C wave down here. That's my main count. So let me now, the alternate count would be that it's a little complicated, but the alternate count would be that we only made, let me zoom in because I'm not sure you can see it, not even I can. Okay, something like this. So once the alternate count would be that once the A wave is over, we have a B wave, okay? But that B wave is not over. Instead of being over, we would, here's the B wave, okay? And up here's the C wave, okay? Instead of the C wave being over, I would consider that in the alternate count that it's still developing. So I would consider that the wave C is still developing. The wave C we have up here. And in that case, we have wave 1 up here, somewhere here, on that handle, a wave B down here. And then the top would be wave 3. And we would now accomplish, have accomplished wave 4, and we would go higher in wave 5. So the alternate count just tells you that we go higher. But it's only an alternate count, so it's not my favorite count. I'm only telling you that because it was easy to trade the market in the past, but now it's getting a little more complicated. So it's not that certain. If we have a B wave up here, if the C wave is already over, or if the C wave is still developing and we go higher for the C wave, it's not certain. So now that being said, I'm going to zoom in and we take a look at the last development. I think that the 1 hour chart will do. Let's try. Yes, that's not bad. So again, up here. So now I'm not, I will forget about the alternate count. We only talk about my main count, which is the most probabilistic count for now for me. So up here we have a wave B, we had the end of wave C, and it made wave B, if I'm not mistaken. Once the C wave is over, we have the first wave down, then the second wave up, and we would now be in the process of accomplishing wave 3 down. It is quite hard. I think that this wave is impulsive. And I think that this wave is corrective. But as you can see, it looks, wave 2 looks quite impulsive. And first I thought that this wave 5 did end here with a truncation. Okay, that there was a truncation and this wave 5 ended here. So I thought that we had that wave 3 down here and that wave 4 up here. So I have a 4 here and a 5 down here. That's what I thought first, and that the 5th wave was a truncation. But the thing is that I need to count this in some kind of corrective manner. And a corrective manner means that there should be an A, B, C. So in order to me to do that, I considered that wave 5 ended here. I mean wave 1 of 5 ended down here. And then I put an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, the C wave being huge. And you can count it like this, because the A wave in that case would have 3 wave, which is all white. The B wave would have 3 wave, which is all white. And the C wave would have 5 waves, which is all white. But maybe my first idea that we have a truncation and the wave 5 stopped here is also possible. And then I would have to put an A wave up here. See if I can draw that. An A wave up here, a B wave down here, and then I would have 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we get a truncation, we could even go higher. Now, also, we have to see that if you look at the Fibonacci retracement, we retraced right now 61% of wave 1. We retraced 61%. And if we would go higher, we would go up to the 78% retracement of wave 1. Now, when you retrace that much in wave 2, it gets less likely that it actually is a wave 2. And if it is not a wave 2, then it could be the alternate count, which I tried to introduce at the beginning of this intervention. Then it could be the alternate count. And if you remember, the alternate count was that down here, we have a wave 4. And we are now going to new highs in a wave 5. Wave 5 of C. That would be the alternate count. And I'm not sure which of those counts is correct right now. What I know is that we have retraced 61.8%. And I also know that this is a little hard to label in a corrective manner because it looks impulsive. You can do it, but it's a little hard. So the thing is, for me, right now, is to know when would I go long, when would I change my my outlook from bearish to long, because right now I'm looking for short trades. I took a short trade here, and I took a short trade yesterday here, And now I'm looking again. I mean, I took a long trade here yesterday, and now I'm looking again for short trade. So I will be looking at Ichimoku to enter a short trade down, because I think that the probability that this price increase is only a wave 2 is quite hard, is quite high. So I think that this could only be a wave 2 and not a wave 5 up to new all-time highs. But I will be less certain that it's a wave 2 if we exceed the 78 retracement, because once you exceed that level, then it's less likely that it's a wave 2. And I know that I'm wrong if we exceed the 129.42. So once we get closer to the 129.42, I will give an order to go long as soon as 129.42. I would put it at 130. I would put an order at 130, just above that line. And once that is exceeded, I would go long, because in that case, I think that we are accomplishing a wave 5 and that we can go higher in to finish the wave C to new all-time highs. But as long as we are below the 78.6%, I won't be bullish, and I will not take a long position before we exceed the 129.42 level. But my Elliott wave gets my main Elliott wave gets invalidated once we exceed the 129.42 level. So I would go long for a small move once we are above that level. And now the question is, since I'm bearish and I'm looking for short positions, when will I enter my short position? Do I take the short position here? But as I told you, there are several ways of labeling it. If it's a truncation, you put the wave 5 here. In that case, you can go a little higher. So do I enter straight away now, because it could be the end of wave 2, or do I wait a little longer? And for me, for the entry points and exit points and my stop loss points, I will look at Ichimoku. So normally I look at the 3-hour chart, but I think that I can reduce that to the 1-hour chart or the 30-minute chart on USOIL. And right now, because there's some insecurity, maybe I should choose the 1-hour chart instead of the 30-minute chart. So I haven't decided that yet. But let's look now at Ichimoku and see what Ichimoku is telling us. So here we have the same chart with the Ichimoku indicator. And as you can see, it probably went bullish once you went above that level, because here you had a Kumo breakout. The future Kumo was probably bullish. Chikou was free, somewhere here. And the Tenkan and the Kichuin was in the right order. So you probably could have entered on this candle. Excuse me, I'm doing very badly. But you probably could have entered on this candle for a long trade. And now it looks like if we have topped, Elliott wave also says that there's a chance that we have topped. And now we could be going down. So when would you enter on the 30-minute chart? So you would wait for a break of the Kumo cloud. So somewhere around here, we could break the Kumo cloud. Then you would wait for the future Kumo to be bearish. So here it's still bullish, but you would wait for it to turn bearish. You would wait for Chikou, which is now here, to be below price. And you would wait for the Kichuin to be above the Tenkan. And here the Tenkan is above the Kichuin, and right now the Kichuin is above the Tenkan. So that's in the right order. But we still need to have the other three conditions, the Kumo break, the future Kumo, and Chico to be in the right order. And then you also need my last condition, which is Elliott wave. Elliott wave needs to confirm. So the only question right now for me, if I want to go short, is will I be more aggressive and go short once we break the once I get a sell signal on the 30-minute chart, or since there's a certain amount of insecurity, do I wait for the 1 hour chart to turn bearish? So on the 1 hour chart, we are higher and it will take longer to go bearish. So, but then it's the same thing. I would go bearish once we are below the cloud and the future Kumo is bearish. Chico is below price. Right now, Chico is up here. It needs to go below price. And the Tenkan and the Kichuin is in the right order. Right now, it is not, since the Kichuin and the Tenkan is above the Kichuin. So right now, I can't, but it would take longer. So for me, the thing is, and I still have to think about this until I take my decision. The thing is, right now, I want to, I had winning trades on USOIL, and I want more, as I told you, of that good feeling, making money in the market. So I would like to go short as soon as possible. But the first occasion to go do that is still to wait for the 30-minute chart, at least, before I go short, which in best case scenario probably would take longer, would be below that level. But that will be the most bullish way of entering the market. And if I want to be more on the prudent side, then I would wait for the 1 hour chart. I'm just telling you that because those details of choosing the 30-minute chart or the 1 hour chart, that's stuff you learn with experience. You will learn much more stuff. You can learn stuff that I haven't even learned right now by trading, by taking time to practice that art form and getting better at it. The other thing that I could do, I told you that I would go long once we go above the 129.42 level, because that is a break of my count, since I have put a wave 1 down here and a wave 2 up here, and the wave 2 cannot retrace more than 100%. So once the 129.42 is exceeded, I go long. That's a decision I have taken. I didn't put the order in right now, but if price is somewhere above the 78% retracement, I will put give the order to my broker. But for now, I haven't. The other thing I could do, because since I could be more aggressive. So I could decide that once we go above this level, the wave, what I have now labeled as the wave 5 of C of 5, once we go above that level, it would also break my count. And I like going, taking the opposite position once my count is broken. But the thing is, this move up, as I labeled it, is still quite insecure, uncertain, because I don't know if it's if the bottom of wave 5 is here or if the bottom of wave 5 is here and it's a truncation, as I told you. Since I don't know that, there's a certain amount of not clarity. And also, if I still think that it's a wave 2, we already have retraced more than 61%. So yes, we can retrace up to 100%, but that doesn't leave that much room to the upside. If it's a wave 2, it doesn't leave much room to the upside. So I find it quite risky to go long just because we broke my wave count. Normally I do it, but here I don't want to do it. I want to do it once we exceed the 129.42. I'm only telling you all those details so that you understand that there are a lot of questions involved in trading, and you need experience. And there's only one way to get that experience is by practicing, by using at the start a small capital and trading it. And once you get better at it, you are satisfied with your result, increasing the capital. And doing that over and over and over again until you make a lot of money in the market. That's the only way of doing it. And just as I continue learning stuff, you will also learn stuff by trading, by practicing the art form. But give yourself the time to learn. And since I'm offering you coaching, you can always have me on your side, and we can see what you are doing, and we can try to improve your trading. Because you can make progress fast if you talk with a professional trader. And you don't have to do it on your own. Even if trading is a solitary activity, you can still talk to people. You can still be a part of a private group, of a private trading group. And we can discuss a lot of things. As I told you, I did not, I thought I told myself there must be a way to make money with the Ukraine crisis, but I didn't think about the ruble. And that's probably inexperience of my part. I mean, you could have thought about the ruble, and you could have told us in the private Telegram group. And if you did, I would have read your tweet, and I would have thought, yeah, well, that's a great idea. And we would have talked about how to execute it and how much leverage to use. So you don't have to do all the work on your own. You can talk to a trader, and you can be part of a private group. For now, I'm putting the entry price to be a member of my private Telegram group very low, since I only ask of 20 USD to get my analysis on Elliott and to be a member and to be able to send me private messages and talk to me and have coaching lessons and all that. And the entry price is very low, only 20 USD a month. I'm only telling you that because I've told it at least 3 times. It's quite saddening that people think that the market is easy money. And when they realize that it's not easy money, they give up. It's just saddening. I would like to have clients and that those clients are on my side doing years, just as the client I've talked about at the beginning of this video, which I see once a week. And we talk about the fundamentals of Bitcoin. And just as I see her over a long period, and I hope that I will keep on seeing her in the future, not because of the money that I make, but because since he pays my fees, since my private client pays my fees, but because I like seeing people progressing and making money in the market and becoming a better analyst, a better human being, and understanding from a fundamental perspective why Bitcoin is that important and why Bitcoin has characteristics that nothing else has. What the difference is between Bitcoin and an altcoin, or between Bitcoin or USOIL or anything, or gold or anything else. It's really important to understand that and why you should be a Bitcoin maximalist. Anyways, so I like seeing people again and again, and I like seeing them making progress. And I'm quite disappointed with the private clients I find on the internet who only think about the very short term, and they want easy and fast money. And when they realize that it's not easy and fast money, but hard work, then they're not interested and they disappear. That's something that I find quite disappointing. I know that I have to expect it, since 99% of people in the market lose money and they will stop. But I find it disappointing when most of them, even with my help, drop out. I find that a little disappointing. But then again, they did not go up to talking with me. They mostly did not take coaching lessons, and they and they certainly don't want to put the effort in it to be part of my private group or a trader over the long time. Anyways, it doesn't matter too much, because as some people say, it is burn and turn. So you must expect them to drop out, and there are a lot of people, and new people will take the place of the old people probably. And if they don't, if nobody watches my video anymore, it doesn't matter. I mean, I practice the art form because I find it interesting. I find it interesting doing that. Just as I find interesting writing my Stoic books. I'm writing my third Stoic book, and once that is over, I will publish it. But I find it interesting. My first Stoic book talked about the basic of Stoicism. My second Stoic book talked about Stoicism and the state, how you should look at the state, and what your attitude should be regarding the state. And my third Stoic book will talk about subjects like that haven't been mentioned a lot in Stoicism. One of the subjects I will talk about is love. So because we didn't talk much about love in Stoicism. We did it. We consider that love is a passion and that you should keep away from it. So that's quite hard. I think it's good advice, but I do not want to tell you to just stay away of it because it is a passion. I want to explain it to you so that you understand what love is, and so that you can have an adult way of looking at it, and not an immature adolescent way of looking at it. So I talk not just about love, but of subjects like love and so on. It's an interesting book, my third book. I like writing it. I hope I find every day a little time to keep writing it. If that's the case, I should be able to publish during the next 6 months. But then again, it takes time. It takes time to become a Stoic. It takes time to be a pianist, and it certainly will take you time to become a good investor trader. It's not something that happens easily, and unfortunately, or maybe that's something you should expect. It isn't easy and quick money, and that's only what people are interested: easy and quick money. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll try to make more interventions, if possible, once a day during the week. So today we are Thursday, so maybe I do one more tomorrow, and then I'll start again next week. I enjoyed talking to you, and I hope to see you soon again. Please like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.